A friend of mine asked me, "Why don't you write a book instead of all your stupid wordplay jokes?" And I thought to myself, wow, that's a novel idea. This is Across the Table, the podcast of Hannibal the Magician. Well, hello again and welcome. I'm really glad you're here. Honestly, I'm having a very good day, a very positive day. The air has cooled down. The temperature in Los Angeles last week got up into the 115 degrees outside, but today is very cool. The sky is gray and occasionally orange from the fires that surround us, both literally and figuratively, I suppose. But I'm here. I'm in my quarantine space, and today is number 182 of my isolation during the pandemic that is worldwide. Someone, a stranger, put up a note on one of my YouTube videos. I did a video diary for day 177, which is up on YouTube now, and someone made the comment that it wasn't very healthy mentally for me to keep track of how many days that I've been in this isolation, in this comfortable prison that I find myself in. And while I can agree with that in some sense, in another sense, it's kept me quite sane to be able to put an order to things that are out of my control, to keep track of things. I guess like I've seen in the movies where prisoners scratch one scratch in the wall for each day they've been imprisoned. I keep it in my journal. I keep it in my actual diary, and occasionally I will pop the number out to the people that actually listen. Hey, thanks for listening, by the way. Day number 182 of isolation, and if I'm completely honest with myself, I see I do not see an ending. I do not see a finish line to this so far. But I remain hopeful. I tried my best to remain positive and not to sink into depression, which I tend to do. And I do this by being creative, by creating art, by making things with my hands, by creating new magic, writing new stories, and being very inconsistent on my podcast. I do have intentions, and there are times I sit down and will record quite a bit and then just abandon the project because it doesn't really say what I'm trying to say. I have made the commitment to myself that today this is going to go out regardless of how blemished or scarred it is, simply because this is how we know each other. This is how we show our growth. This is how we show our maturity and the things we've been through, and the experience we have is through the warts and the scars and the weathering that we take as we take our journey. I make art. Specifically, I tell stories and I do card tricks. Those things are a gift to me, and as I've said before here, the gift is to be given away. I was given the ability to speak in front of groups of people. I was given the ability to communicate to large groups and small groups and individuals. I was given a dexterity of my hands that has allowed me to find a vehicle for my voice. And I do card tricks, and I do magic tricks, and I create origami. Well, I don't have the audience for that right now. And while I have tried virtual performance and doing things online, it does not fare well for me. I don't want to put out a mediocre product, and boy, product's not a word I ever thought I'd cross my lips on that. Let me restate that. I don't want to create art that is mediocre and does not say what I want it to say and doesn't carry the fire and the passion and the core belief of who I am. Art is an expression of who we are. A very fine individual said that art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in visual form, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. Artist by the name of Ashley Banjo. You can find him on Instagram at Ashley Banjo, ASHLEYBANJO. Some beautiful words from a very beautiful human being, and very powerful in the expression of the gift that is within all of us, is what I have been practicing here. A person that I once knew better than I do now, someone who was once a very good friend of mine, and who affected my life in mighty ways, once said it like this, that art is the act of taking your heart out and shining some lights on it. And I think that applies to all the art forms in one way or another. But I have been taking here in my darkness and in my solitude and in my isolation, I have still been training lights on the beautiful gift that was given to me, creating new card tricks and creating new stories and simply telling the stories and the things that are happening to me right now here in this place. Yes, it can be depressing, and yes, it can be very sad, and yes, crossing anniversaries and significant dates on my calendar while sitting alone and trying to deal with the feelings that come up with it can be very daunting and very challenging. My therapist helps a lot. I have an online, well, we've been doing it via phone for the past little while, pouring out these feelings and stories and things that clog up in my brain has been very helpful. If you have the opportunity, I highly recommend talking to a third party, a therapist or a counselor or someone who can look at things more objectively and perhaps help shine a light on the path you're taking. It's not the direction I had thought this was going to go in. What I wanted really to say today is that there are stretches of time that have come and gone and perhaps will come again where I will sit here in this space, in this beautifully comfortable little studio apartment about a stone's throw from the Magic Castle in Hollywood, and boy, don't get me started in that direction, where I do fall into dark days and depressed days because it just seems that like this is not going to end, and I have no point of view of how far it's going to go or how long it's going to take, or whether I ought to point my feet in a different direction. The universe has not opened a door for me there yet. The message that I get in my meditation and my prayers, the answer that I get to those things, is that I should stay, that I should sit tight, that I should wait, be patient and be still, and live in this moment and gather the experiences of this moment. And that keeps getting enforced and ingrained in me as I go along. I spoke with a mentor this morning, right out of the blue, Max Howard, who is a very powerful performer, artist, actor, magician, good friend, mentor, teacher, role model. Called me up out of the blue and said he just wanted a virtual hug and to catch me up on what was going on and to find out where my heart was and how I'm doing. And that was a huge blessing. And right in the middle of it, he let me know that the important thing was living in the moment and living in the here and learning from the experience of just being. I make my living doing card tricks. I made my living doing card tricks. I have been polishing my skill. I have been keeping my my dexterity and my I guess I'm going to come back to the word skill again. Keep my skill level at least as high as it was. I'm dedicated to not the perfection, but the constant improvement, the constant walk with my gift. So that when I do have the opportunity, when the opportunity presents itself, I will not be found lacking in having not practiced my gift. So here we are. But there is a feeling of accomplishment that comes with the creative process. So I have been making bread. I have been practicing in the sourdough realm and working with starters and working with different kinds of flours and creating my own wild yeast and making a thing that is so rewarding in its own path, taking the simplest of things, just flour and water and salt, and guiding it gently through different processes and different stages, and being rewarded at the end with something beautiful and aromatic and tasty, and something that I can share with people that I love and people that I don't get to interact with on a personal basis. I can bake them something and give them as a gift. I told this story also on the YouTube video diary, but it's worth repeating. I suppose. I make muffins and I make brownies and I make general sweets, and I thought to myself, after a few weeks of doing these things and distributing to friends and tasting for myself and so on, I thought it might be a better idea to give more of these away rather than hoarding them for myself and consuming them for myself. There are healthier ways to eat, but I have all these things that I've made. So late one night, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Let me back up one step. There are, like I said, I live in Hollywood. I live in the east part of Hollywood, and I have taken to once or twice a day, getting outside my front door, getting outside of my little cell, and taking a walk around the block. Not a whole lot of foot traffic out there, not a whole lot of people that I pass. I wear a mask. I take all the precautions. I don't touch anything or anyone. And then of course wash my hands before and after, and so on. And take a look at my neighborhood. But this will take place usually early in the morning or late at night. Everything is well lit. Maybe I'm being foolish, but I enjoy the night air. It's a little less smoky sometimes with the wildfires that are going on. I do it at night because it's because of the heat factor as well. And there are sex workers that work on the corner near my apartment, and I've passed them a few times, and we've exchanged jokes and we've exchanged words and just honestly just kind of neighborly back and forth, just offers and gentle declines of those offers, and just getting to know these human beings that are out doing what they have to do to survive. And I'm not going to be one here to deride or to look down on anyone doing what they have to do to survive, no matter what it is. They have their rights, and they have their there's really nothing to say there. They do what they do, and they do it to survive. And that's all that anyone can ask of anyone. Anyway, that's a different topic I'll get to another day. Anyway, these fine young men and women who have, from all that I have seen, just very good hearts, and are struggling like all the rest of us, and of course are defensive at a certain point, but once they see a person and get to know a person on their walks, they'll, just like any good neighbor, how are you this evening? How you doing? You being safe? You taking care? Yeah, Anyway, one evening, I took a little basket of muffins and brownies, and on my walk, I gave it to them, because I'm like, you're out here all night. You're out here in the long, lonely stretches of time when nothing is really happening, and I just felt led to bring you some. I made these goodies. I made these, and of course the first thing was like, yeah, right. Let me, why don't you eat one first? Why don't you show, So of course, I said, take any one you want from the basket. I'd love to share them with you. And when they saw that I was sincere and nothing was wrong, they dove in and they really appreciated it, and they really enjoyed it, and it did my heart good to have made something for someone else. And here is the crux of why I do what I do. I've had a YouTube channel. If you look up Hannibal the Magician, that's my YouTube channel. You can find me pretty easily. But I've had this YouTube channel for 10 or 11 years, And occasionally, every once in a while, I will upload a video. It really kind of started when I first worked at the Magic Castle, and they filmed my work there, and I was so proud to be in that landmark place that I took the recording and I put several performances up on the YouTube, and they've been there for 9 or 10 years easily. And not really paid, didn't do a lot of marketing on it, didn't try to monetize anything on it. I just liked putting my work out there. And a few people, a handful, really seemed to enjoy it and kept coming back and back again. Very much like this podcast right here. Did I tell you I appreciated you yet? I tell you thank you for listening? All of those things. Anyway, about a month ago, people started subscribing. And when I see people started subscribing, they started subscribing to my channel in the thousands. I don't know what happened. I don't know how the algorithm changed, if that's the right word, but people were telling me this video, that video, popped up on my recommended videos feed, and I watched it, and then I went and watched everything else that you've put up, and I really enjoy your content, and I hope you're still making it. Lots and lots and lots of encouraging, positive comments on these old videos. They run up to the present because I haven't stopped putting them up, but the older ones are getting a lot of attention and drawing people to the new ones. And when I say tens of thousands, I have somewhere, I'm not looking at the exact number right now, but I have somewhere in the vicinity of 43 to 45,000 subscribers to my little magic video channel. And the sheer number of people who have sent me emails and who have sent me text messages and who have sent me comments and private messages and 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls that I will let my answering machine take those, thank you, but who have just reached out to say how the art that I put forth has moved them in a positive manner and has given them hope and has given them light in the dark times that we're living in. And there's why I do what I do. It is applause on an entirely different level. It is people putting their hands together. It is people taking the effort to reach out and just saying, "Good job. You awakened a great memory within me, or you showed me hope. You showed me light." And that is better than applause, and that is better than cheering, and it's better than fame, and it's better than fortune. It's the moment. There is a moment in the show when there's just this quiet. I've finished talking. I have shown something magical to the audience, and we are hanging there. No one is clapping, no one is cheering, no one is doing anything. We are just hanging there in this empty moment where everything has been fulfilled, and you feel the response coming, but it is in that pregnant moment that the art returns its love right back to me. The final notes of a song are ringing out and fading, and the cheers are building, and the faces are lighting up, and the eyes are wide. Those moments take me through life, and it could be in a 7,000-seat theater where I have delivered a speech and a magic show. It could be in a hotel ballroom. It could be in a conference room where I've talked to people. It could be in the basement of a church. It could be me and 1 or 2 other people on the corner of a street, standing on the sidewalk with a table between us, looking at each other in the eyes and having shared this moment together in a gift that I was given to bring to that particular place. And it is in that moment that art and love is birthed, and it blooms, and it creates that memory, that snapshot that people will take with them for a very long time, perhaps beyond my time. I have no illusions or desire to be famous or to be world-renowned or any of those trappings, and they are traps. I want to deliver a successful show. I want to tell a well-crafted, well-whittled, pointed end story that gets people right in the heart or in the feels or in the spine and shares a part of myself with them. That's what gets me through these days. That's what helps me put the next scratch on the wall. That's how I show you my heart. This moment. We don't get it back. And it's all that we own. We don't own tomorrow. We don't own yesterday. We have it. We carry it around with us, but we can't change it and we can't alter it, and it is not ours. It is simply something that has happened to us. We don't have tomorrow. We don't have next week. We don't have 5 minutes from now. Nothing is promised. Nothing is guaranteed. If this year has shown me anything, it's that everything can change, and it's how we deal with those changes that make us who we are. So I own this moment, and I cherish it like the gift that it is. And I make art in it, and I make music in it, and I make bread in it. And I'm offering it to you. In this minute, in this moment, I love you exactly who you are. I am an artist, and it is my job to show you my heart. There it is. Thank you so much for the support you've given me, for the love you have shown me, for your letters, for your phone calls, for your text messages, for everything that you give to me because of the little bit that I am able to give to you. I am forever grateful for this life that I have been gifted. I hope that there is love where you are.
I may not know exactly where this road is taking me, but I know that I'm exactly right where I'm supposed to be. The journey is long, full of joy and pain, but as long as you're smiling, I'll stand in the rain. I've got nothing left to give other than love. But the funny thing about that is, love is everything. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I may be a liar full of tricks, but if you'd open up your eyes, you would see nothing but the truth behind all of my lies. I broke every rule, and I bore every boulder, and I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I've got nothing left to give other than love. But the funny thing about that is, love is everything. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope without heart, you've got nothing but illusion. Anyone can wave a wand and make all their heartache disappear and call it art. But without heart, you've got nothing but illusion. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are, my friend.
Chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.